All right. So thank you for joining Module 4, Elicitation Techniques and Requirement Documentation. Um, so in this module, um, this is this is basically both practical and theoretical. You guys will understand all the techniques, techniques you can use to gather requirement. And I shared a video during the week for you guys to go through it. I don't know you guys if you guys have gone through the video and all that documentation and shared. This is going to open your eyes and you know to understand all the techniques. So different techniques for different situation. You have to make sure that you don't use the same techniques throughout your elicitation or the requirement gathering or your requirement elaboration. So we'll go through all these and also requirement documentation, right? We'll go through Jira a little bit, um, and also from there we will definitely deep dive more on each requirement, each session techniques and requirement documentation, and how you can be able to push, gather requirement and document your requirement. So so what exactly is requirement elicitation? Uh, so if you look at it from this angle, this is basically a practice of obtaining the requirement of a system or a process from your users or your customer. And most of the time, if I don't know if you guys go through um, the document I shared during the week. So for every requirement, when you got that, you must um, validate every requirement you're collecting from your customer. If you don't validate, and how do you validate? You need to go back after you check with engineers. You need to go back and make sure that this is exactly what they want. So that's how you can validate. It's what we call requirement feedback loop. So you can never be sure you get all requirement from user and customer by just asking them what the system should do. You must dig deeper, clarify, verify, validate. You must, you have to be, you have to be very careful. And this is the core area of a BA. We're getting into the core area where I'm gonna give you guys a project. I'll give you guys a project. Um, so basically, I will provide you, description of the project. Some of the project might not have a screenshot, some might have, and I want you guys to take your time, um, prepare your whatever station texts you want to use, and I'll be on the call. Then I'll ask. And I'll just be sitting there and you do your thing, do your show, and tell me how you want to run your show. It's there for you. But before you run your show, you need to come to me and tell me. I'll be your manager, and also I'll be your product, your customer. So you first tell me the approach you want to use to gather this requirement, and also you send me your requirement. I mean your list of questions ahead of time for me to go through it, and I want you to step up and ask me questions, open-ended questions, why I want to do this, why I want to do that, and you start documenting it. Then we'll come back together and we'll review together. There'll be a separate one-on-one between me and you. I'll set up that, right? So with this is going to help you guys to be able to manage your own show, manage your own project. It's going to help you. So you must also make sure all requirements are clear and specific. So, and another thing I quickly want to talk about here is based on um, the video I sent to you guys. If you look at what the gentleman was talking about on that video, right? We have so many techniques, right? We have brainstorming section. We talk about that earlier in module one and module two. So brainstorming section. If you remember the the McDonald's project that they want to do, right? They're trying to enhance um, their order management, right? How their customer purchase their product. I mean, their food or yeah, their product. It's a product. So I won't call it. I think it's a product. Food. I would say. I would say what they're selling to customers, right? So they want to enhance it, and for you, they don't have an idea. And it's not left for you to come up with a brainstorming section. A brainstorming section is basically it's a elicitation techniques that helps you to kind of collect information, vital information, and use it to enhance the current process. So how do you do this? A brainstorming section, you have to set up a call with the key people, collect information, document it. So this will help you to kind of help them to come up with a better solution. Now we also document analysis. So document analysis basically, uh, at times you don't have to set up a call, right? All what you need to do is a document analysis. And let me give you a scenario where you can use this. Now, you for document analysis, let's say you already know the scope of um, the project, you already understand the current and the current and the to be. So all what you need to do is they want you to kind of come up with a gap analysis. So gap analysis basically is for you to kind of what's the gap between the current process. For example, let's say the McDonald's, their current process, they have 5 steps for a user to be able to buy chicken or chicken burger, whatever. And the to be, right, they've already also put it together. And the to be, they already implemented that the to be, like they already removed maybe 2 steps, it's already three. But still they're having issues. Now you're looking at two different processes. I mean, two different process. So now what you need to do is, but for you to be able to look into it, you have to request for the two process together and do what we call gap analysis. So in this form, this is a document analysis. You're doing a document analysis of the two processes. And it's okay, you're just going through them and making sure that why the first process did not work and the second process did not work, what's going on. So that's an example. Focus group. Yeah, this I think this is a mistake. So focus group techniques. It's very good when you have at least maybe one or two stakeholders. You want to focus with them, and you want to first collect their information, collect feedback, collect requirement, document it, and from there, you now ask that person, is there? Do you think I should talk to a lot of people, or who are the people that I need to talk to? For example, if the users that are using the application, there are a lot of them, maybe like 2,000, 3,000. You don't want to talk to 3,000 people at once, right? We need to first talk to their manager. Then what you need to do is when you talk to the manager, the person can tell you that, well, I think it's good to talk like we have like 15 people that will be on the call. So in that case, you can't use a focus group. You already talked to one person, and use a focus group. So if you need to talk to a lot of people, you have to use what we call requirement workshop. even though the requirement workshop, you don't allow all of them to start talking on your in your meeting. You need to make sure that they specify the leader, who is the leader that will need to make some decisions, and also if you need to clarify something like the requirements that you just want to double check, or who is the person that needs to help you to sign off. So you have to be very careful. So interviews and requirement workshop, they're kind of similar. They're kind of the same. So every meetings you go, every meetings you set up, you still need to, come up with your questions, right? And you need to interview them. Just look at it from like interviewing people. So you must be very good. You must be good at facilitating meeting, and also you're very good at asking questions. So now let's talk about observation. So observation, let's say um, you are in an organization, and what the business want to do, they want to perform an enhancement on the application. And let's say this application is used by the CRAs or advocates. Advocate, they use it to, um, let me give an example. Uh, let's say they use the application to help patients to schedule their appointments, to schedule doctor's reports, and I mean to schedule doctor's appointment, and also to help them to collect reports from the doctor, right? And let's say the application, they're trying to enhance it because the users, they are finding it very difficult to do so many things. It's slowing their operations down, right? So in this kind of case, right, the observation technique is you will select like maybe 5 people. You send them an email. Your name is so 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 so. You're new BA so 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 so. I've been assigned to this project, and I've talked to XYZ person. I've talked to XYZ, and your name I've been choosing for me to come to your desk and to come and observe. Some of the challenges you guys are facing, so that we can perform a enhancement on the platform. And the goal is we want to make it more efficient, we want to make it more effective, we want to make it more super 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 friendly, right? So you set up a meeting calendar with this person, so this person can you know have time for you, right? So you set up like maybe 1 hour, or you can set up 30 minutes, maybe 2 days, or 1 hour for 3 days, or whatever time slots that you think it to make sense. But most of the time, you start 1 hour, see how it goes. Maybe you still want to observe some other things, right? So when you get to this person desk, then you know what they're trying to do. Maybe some of the requirements that the key stakeholder already gave you, you already put everything down. Then you go to one after the other. You tell the person, can you go to that module, click on it. Okay, when you click on it, then how long does it take that module to boot, or to load? Because they're complaining that the application is very slow. It's very, when you see it and you say, oh, okay, I see, okay, this is what, okay, okay. Then you put something, you put a note down, and you put a note down, and you say, okay, can you go to that module, and can you click on that? Can you do this? Can you do that? So this is observation techniques. It's for you to kind of see. And if you don't want to go to this route, you can also request for a test environment. A test environment will help you to observe yourself. You play as a user role, and you go to the application. You go to this module, you click on this button, this one download, so you observe yourself. This is observation techniques. Now, another technique is how you can use to gather requirements. Elicitation techniques, it's what we call a prototype. So a prototype is a visualization of how the users will see the um, the UI, the front end, right? You're trying to log in, you're trying to type, you're trying to download, you're trying to do all sorts of things. What is going to be the user journey from A to Z, from when they start the onboarding process and when to finish payment or whatever, or how to get to the account page. So I will show you Figma, how to do that, how to be able to uh, you know, do some design yourself, and you can be able to show your customer high level, this is what you're thinking, and this is what this user click on, this is what's going to happen. The requirement workshop is basically you're trying to do an interview for, let's say, like 50 people, but out of 50 people, the 5 people or 3 people are the key stakeholders that are asking your questions. At this stage, you must at least have somebody that can back you up so you can capture everything. And also, it's always very good to take some recordings, and this will help you to be able to capture everything and help you do your own analysis. So, so your project, I'll give you a project. Now it's now left for you to choose out of all these techniques for survey questions. When you're trying to deal with a lot of people, thousands of people, you try to collect data, collect their information. I can give you a project that, we're trying to build this project, can be anywhere in the world. And how do you think a customer will relate to the UI, based on what we present, you know? So in this case, do you want to send a questionnaire and ask them, okay, what if we put this? How do you think? Do you think this would make sense to put this? Why you should give that? You should give us their own feedback, all that stuff, right? Collecting their information, collecting feedback, and use that information to to build a better UI, a better user face. So your project will be different. It'll be different. So during the week, I'll be reaching out and providing you guys, giving you your project. And basically, you can use, I'll tell you the timeline. I'll tell you when you have to present, you have to set up a meeting with me. And it's now left for you to reach out to me through email or Slack. And okay, these are the questions I would like to based on this. And, I'll tell you why I'll tell you why we're trying to do it, and also you come up with your documentation, how you want to document your requirement. After you document your requirement, you put your user story, you put available screenshot. Either you want to use a Word document to document requirement, or either you want to use a Jira. Um, you guys can go to Jira and create your account. I'll show you how to do that. So with that, we're going to interact in a real life scenario, like you're talking to a business person, right? So just look at me as your supervisor, as a mentor. Also look at me as your customer, right? So just look at me on both sides. Any question? Any
No
question?
question.
Okay. So now there are rules for elicitation meetings. For elicitation, there are rules. uh, I want you to take it very serious because if you can be able to manage your customer on the call during your requirement section, they can easily just, you know, they can just send a message to your boss that they're not comfortable with you. And I'm trying to do is I want to groom you guys to be the world class BA. Um, you hold your meeting tight. You 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 make sure that your questions are being given ahead. You prepare them, and you tell them the objective why you're trying to gather the requirements, right? So if you are a new person and you maybe somebody has been working before and you took over from that person, introduce yourself, right? Engage them, make them feel comfortable. So you can find yourself in a way that providing refreshment. I don't think this always comes into play all the time, but especially if they're external customers, if you're a consultant, you can ask for refreshment, and if you want to do this in a live in person, you can provide them. It's optional, okay? And it's always good to review the tools that will be used beginning of the section. For example, every time I set up every time I host my students, I make sure my tool is okay, my meetings, everything, even my classes. I review everything. I review my documents. I make sure I'm engaging my people, my stakeholders, my customers, everybody. You know. So if there's any mistake, I apologize. This is a mistake. This is so you can engage them, feel comfortable. They don't assume that they get everything. So including participants scribe, at least you can include two people that you don't they're not part of it, just for observing, and in case if you miss out anything, or if you need any help, going to help you out, maybe taking records or notes or something, or maybe a another BA to kind of document something for you, if you are kind of person that you need extra help. Now, provide near time validation of this section output. So basically, you want to make sure that if it's 1 hour call, 30 minutes, you wanna try to focus on, okay, in next 10 minutes, we're gonna focus on these 3 or 4 requirements, and from there you move on to another requirement. You have to be specific. Now, have reference and resource material available. So for example, if your stakeholders have already shared you the high level requirements, right? Now, some of the requirements are clear, some are not clear, right? The ones that are not clear, you want to talk about those first, and make sure you put the reference of those material ahead and talk to about those, right? Because you're not clear about those, and you start with those, the ones that you are clear. And if you have additional questions, every requirement you must have questions, you must document them, decompose them, you know so make sure those materials are available. Provide pens, pencil, and pads for each group if it's necessary. If it's in person, I mean, you can do this. Now, so participants should all be in the same place. So basically, if it's non virtual, right, if it's in person, they must be in the same place, right? So you can be able to have a great collaboration. Provide summary at the beginning and the end of each day. So let's say your elaboration exercise or section, it will take about 4 to 6 weeks. I remember one of the project I worked on a couple of years ago. It took me about almost 7 weeks. We're trying to build a new platform, and the elaboration techniques, like we migrate we I think, if I remember, we moved all their data from the legacy system. What I mean the legacy system is they're trying to deprecate the system. Deprecate of system means we're retiring, we retire the system. So they don't want to use it again. We migrated all their data, all their big data to Dynamics 365 marketing and sales, right? So during this process, what I usually did, what I did was, I think I will provide a summary of what we're trying to do today, our goal for today, right? Three requirements, and this is what we're trying to flush out today. And if you guys flush them out quickly, right, you can jump on, I mean, maybe one or two. But the goal is to for you set a goal, set a goal for that call. This goal, let send them an email ahead of time. We're trying to focus on three goals, or trying to set up maybe 10 lists of goals for that call. I'm trying to flush out all this, you know, make it very, very smooth. Make it very smooth. Ask good questions, smile, laugh, joke with them. You feel comfortable to give you everything you want. So at the end of the each day, also make sure that you let them know that you've gathered everything, and if there's any other question, follow up, you let them know. And also keep an eye on action items, list what, who, and when. So this is very important. Action items that you need to take. And for example, you need to make sure you check with engineers about these requirements. You keep them. It's very crucial. Include silent observers, right? There are some observers like your BA, like maybe leaders, or maybe anybody. Make sure you include somebody that, in case if you miss anything out, it can be able to point you that, oh, I think we missed this. You need to include this. And make sure you take frequent breaks, right? Our brain works so hard, right? You want to take some break, you refresh, take water, you can feel relaxed, you can fit, you can make, so you can have a good section. Decide how long the group will meet before the meeting. So it's always important to do that. So most of the time I do 2 hours, 2 hours call for the station workshop. For workshop, 2 hours. For focus group, maybe want to do 1 hour. For observation, probably maybe 1 hour. But for a big project, it's a long process. You're looking at 6 to 4 weeks. You want to do 2 hours on each call. Stick to 12, 15 empowered participants, right? Don't make sure your folks on the call, they're not too much, right? Especially when you have a requirement section, a workshop. Provide multiple supplies if working in small group. So you're looking at the focus group, the techniques, basically you don't have too much of people. Provide a lot of supplies, a lot of especially if you're doing an in-person. Make sure the topic process is well defined. Like, this is very crucial. Ensure you send them objective, what you guys want to cover, kind of similar to what we discussed earlier. And make sure the room is comfortable. I mean, most of the time nowadays, you just have to probably maybe once in a while in person, but most of the time to feel comfortable to start with, I would say start with virtual, remote. To help you provide user-friendly virtuals, like especially for your designs. If you want to show them designs, what you're thinking, how the user journey is going to look like, make sure you present a better visuals, right? And also invite your designer. Your designer can also help you to help them to help you to communicate better, and also because that's their own job, right? Sometimes you want to invite your designer, the UI UX person, to come and help you out, and to provide more context to the user flow. Define the roles and responsibility for the meeting. Like, this one comes into play. You need to introduce yourself, your roles you're gonna play. Then make sure the facilitator is well prepared and capable. You need to be prepared. This is very important. Make sure you're prepared. Make sure that you because all these things I put together, nobody even told me when I started as a BA many years ago. I put all these things together, but this is something that I experienced. There's a little thing that piss some people off, right? And you want to be prepared. Every meeting you prepare, you look at your documentations, everything. You can talk to yourself, like the question you want to ask. Talk to yourself. Just put your, just maybe lock yourself inside a room and talk to yourself. Okay, you already prepared. Instead of it sitting in a U shape, I don't think this is necessary, right? I think you should rule this out. This out of scope. Include business lead supporters. So it's always very good to include the key folks. It's very, very important. Key folks to your call. So I really want you guys to take this very serious. These are the rules that is going to help you to make your meetings very, very good and and smooth. So after this, we'll go to this is the approach. I think I want to stop now so we can relax, take water, come back. This is a little bit faint, but I want to keep this. I really want you guys to pay attention to this. This is more like the brain blocks of how you're going to approach your job as a BA. So let's take about five minutes break. We'll come back. Then I'll do a walkthrough of this, and there'll be a lot of interaction here. And from there, we'll proceed. Any question before we go?
No, for now.
Okay, guys. So let's come back 11, 11, 11:35. Okay. Any question from others?
So, no question.
Okay, all right.